Okay, y'all, I first started making this recipe when the kids were small, and I would do what was very popular in the 80s and early 90s, which was once a month cooking. And that's where you would have a massive grocery shopping day once a month. You would come home. The next day you would cook 28 or 30 casseroles, pop them in the freezer, and then you would have a meal every single day of the month that was quick and easy and saved you money. So I will tell you right now that this freezes beautifully. There's no reason not to double or triple the recipe and pop 2 of them in the freezer. Okay, they do great. Just thaw it out in the refrigerator the night before you want to use it, and then pop it in the oven, and you know, you've got a great meal. What you're going to need is ground beef that's been sauteed with about 1.25 cups of chopped onion. So this is 1.5 pounds of ground beef, and I use 93.7, sauteed with about 1.5 cups of chopped onion. The recipe calls for 1.25 cups. You could use up to 2 cups. It just kind of depends on how much you like onion. And then you're going to need cream of chicken soup, chili powder, canned chilies, diced, and drain them. You don't have to drain them perfectly, just drain them mostly. Corn tortillas, Monterey Jack cheese, or if you like it spicy, you can go with pepper jack, and then sour cream, and that's it. This is so easy. I'm going to add my chili powder to the ground beef in the skillet, ground beef and onions. I already salted and peppered the ground beef to taste. I went a little bit light on the salt because there's other things in here that are salty. So you want to season your ground beef to taste. Now, a lot of times what I'll do is I will buy 10 or 20 pounds of ground beef, especially if it's on sale, and I will brown all of it and then put it in the freezer in 1.5 pounds or 1 pound or 1.5 pound size packages, and that way it's all the way cooked, and all I have to do is warm it up and add it to my recipe, which is what I did here. So once that's mixed, you're going to push that aside, and we're going to take corn tortillas. People ask me all the time, can you use flour tortillas? And you can, but I think they get soggy, and I think the corn tortillas have a better flavor than the flour tortillas, okay? I'd suggest corn tortillas. These are white corn tortillas. If you really want to use flour tortillas, go right ahead, whatever way you want to do it. You're going to lay your tortillas in a damp paper towel, and then, which this should have covered it all the way, but it didn't. Are they downsizing paper towels now too? I mean, they've downsized everything else, right? Okay, let's see. Okay, there we go. Put your corn tortillas in a damp paper towel and put them in the microwave just until they're soft. It's only going to take like a minute. You don't want to overdo it. So I'm going to do that right now, and I'll see you back here in a minute. Ooh, those are hot. It's getting darker outside, so I'm wondering if we're going to have a storm. So sorry if the light goes wonky here on me. All right, so once your tortillas are warm, you're going to spray a 13 by 9 inch pan. Take 1 tortilla and put it down in the bottom, and take a little bit of the beef. And don't overfill these because they will break. And then a little bit of the cheese, and you're just going to roll that up. And when they're warm, they're very easy to roll up. Press it back in there. And keep the tortillas, the rest of the tortillas, covered while you're rolling these. Put them in the pan, seam side down. Take another one. Oh, one thing I want to do is I want to pull out about 1 cup of the cheese because that's going to go on top. I don't want to miss out on that. Okay. Just take another bit of the beef. Ooh, had a little onion skin in there. and a little bit of the cheese, and roll it up and push it back against the other one. And basically, you're going to do that 12 times or until your tortillas and your beef runs out and your cheese. Sometimes I get 12, sometimes I get 10, sometimes I get 16 because I'm not very good about being exact in proportions, as you probably already know. This part does take a little bit of time, but like I said, if you're, double or triple the recipe on a weekend and have one for dinner and put 2 in the freezer, it takes no time at all to bake. And my oven is currently preheating at 375. You guys do not need to sit here and watch me do this over and over. So I'm going to go ahead and let you go get some coffee, and I'm going to finish this up. Okay, I was able to get 14 out of that. One of them ripped, but that'll be okay. I had meat left, but I couldn't fit any more in the pan. So anyway, so we've got 14. I'm gonna set those aside and get a little mixing bowl. And I'm gonna combine the soup and the sour cream and the chilies. I know I said soup and I was putting sour cream in there, but soup's going in next. Okay. There's the sour cream and the soup. Trying to get all of it out of there. And I'm just going to whisk this together. I find that it's harder to whisk together once the chilies go in, so I like to have it well blended before they go in. And then I'm just going to add the chilies, which have been drained, but I'm not that careful about draining because it's sauce. So some of that liquid from the chilies actually gives it a little extra flavor, I think. Then all we're going to do is spoon this over the top of the enchiladas. You can use chicken instead of beef. I have a cream chicken enchilada recipe on the blog. This one is really good. It's surprising because it's beef and cream and chicken soup, but it is surprisingly good. Well, I don't know why I said it's surprisingly good. You guys know it's going to be good. This is a point you'd stop at if you were freezing it for later. So what I would do is one of two things. If I had time, I would flash freeze this so that the top got firm, and then I would cover it with plastic wrap. I'd put a 3x5 card on top of the plastic wrap with the instructions on how to bake it, and also a small Ziploc bag, like a snack size bag or a quart size bag, with my shredded cheese for the topping in it. And then I'd put aluminum foil over it. I'd put a label on it with what it was, the date I made it, etc., etc. The other way you can do that is to put the plastic wrap, to spray the plastic wrap with no stick spray, lay it over, and then do the same thing, okay? And then when you would go to thaw it, you'd put it in the refrigerator overnight so it had time to thaw before dinner time. And then you'd take the aluminum foil off, you'd take the instructions out, you'd take the cheese packet out, take the plastic wrap off, put this in the oven for 15 minutes at 375, sprinkle with the cheese, and bake 10 minutes more. So that's how you do it if you're going to freeze it. If you're not going to freeze it, you are going to basically do the same thing without the freezing. You're going to take this right now, put it in 375 oven for 15 minutes, uncovered, and then sprinkle with the reserved cheese and bake it for 5 to 10 more minutes, or until the cheese melts and the enchiladas are heated through. And y'all know I'm going to be using my Insta-Read thermometer to see what the temperature is down in the middle, but that's how you do it. So I'll see you back here in about 30 minutes. You don't need to see me put the cheese on when it's hot, right? I mean, you know how to do that. So yeah, I'll see you back here in about 30 minutes and we'll take a look. Okay, y'all, it has been 35 minutes and that's just come out of the oven. It's good and hot. You can see how melty the cheese is on the top. Just very, don't you love it when it strings like that? I sure do. Just look how that cheese just strings up. There's so much gooey cheese on there. It looks so good. Now, what I do is I like to let it set for about 5 minutes until the cheese has a chance to set a little bit, so it's not so gooey and hot that it slips right off. So I'm gonna let this set for a couple of minutes and then I'll be back. Okay, y'all, it has had just a minute to set. By a minute, you can let it set up to 5 minutes if you can handle it. It just smells so good. I just want to dig in. And I'm going to start on this side since I know that there's 2 enchiladas there, and I can just slip those right out. Get my plate ready. That cheese is still very gooey. Look at that. Looks so good. So what we've got is super gooey cheese, tender ground beef that's been seasoned, a creamy, delicious sauce. Boy, is that good. I would probably sprinkle cilantro on top before I served it. Actually, when I went to the store, they didn't have any cilantro, believe it or not. How a store in Texas could not have cilantro, I don't know. But they didn't. So sprinkle some chopped cilantro on top, or diced avocado, or some diced tomato, just something to perk it up a little bit, and you are ready to go. This is so easy. Well, y'all, this is so delicious. The sauce is so creamy. I love love that cheese. I did not drop it on the floor, although it looked kind of like I did. I love the fact that you can put this in the freezer and have a quick, hot Tex-Mex meal in almost no time at all. I kind of love the fact that it's ground beef and not chicken, again, because I'll be honest, sometimes I just really get tired of chicken. And I love the fact that I can like triple the recipe, spend an hour putting it together and pop it in the freezer, and it is just as delicious 3 or 4 months later as it was when I actually did it. So I hope you're going to try this, because it is absolutely fantastic. I don't want to say delicious again, I'm kind of overusing that word. But I hope you're going to try it, and I hope you'll love it. Remember that the full recipe is down below. You'll just maybe need to scroll to find it. And then there's a link to the blog with the recipe and nutrition information, printable recipe, tips, FAQs, all the things. So head on over there and get more information, because, you know, the more information you got, the better off you are, right? Okay, that's it for me today. I love y'all. I hope you'll come back. Don't forget to leave a thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe. Don't forget to check out the recipe I've linked up here. And yeah, I love y'all. Have a great day and a fantastic week. I'll see you next week. Bye-bye.